First of all, I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to share some of the basic views about the importance of nutrition in elderly. Here I have been just to discuss about the basic aspects and the nutrients to be provided and what is the alterations to be made for the elderly to maintain their normal activities, the calories needed for the normal activities. So with increasing longevity, the proportion and number of persons in the age group of 60 years and beyond is increasing, as well as the prevalence of disease increases rapidly with advanced age, as nutrition is one of the special importance to the elderly person. Here it is the process of providing a proper food elements for the maintenance of health and growth. It's not a single process. It includes digestion, absorption, assimilation, and actual use of nutrients by the cells of the body. Why this point has been explained here is it's not a single thing that if you eat something and it will be completely absorbed. There are so many factors that determines the absorption of the nutrients. We can simply say, how many of you know that when I used to hear from my grandma and grandpa, don't eat puffed rice mixed with tea. Can anyone say? Most of you know what is the reason of this puffed rice will not be included and mixed with tea. So in our state in Tamil Nadu, we used to have the habit of eating puffed rice mixed with tea. Can anyone say? Why? Why it should not be? No? As basic, puffed rice contains some basic amount of iron. So tea contains some compounds which will inhibit the absorption of iron. So if both the things are included, definitely the basic nutrients, which is very much least available in the foods, is not absorbed by our human body. So there are so many small aspects to be taken into account in very deep while consuming or taking the food for the normal activities. So a proper diet must be followed for an individual to be well nourished, including an elderly. Here I have given some of the this table will shows you the requirement of nutrition for various age groups, where the last line shows the nutritional requirement for the elderly. You can find some ups and downs in various nutrients when compared to the young ones. Here we studied as the elderly is a second childhood. So we have to take the same precaution what we are taking care for our children. Here we have given about the requirement of the calories. I hope you know the basic 5 aspects of nutrients. That is, you can classify with these 5 fingers. You can take the center finger as a calorie requirement, which contributes about 50 to 60%. Calories should be 50 to 60% from your foods, protein about 50 to 20%, fat about 15 to 20, and small amount of vitamins and small amount of minerals. That's what I teach to the children whenever I go to for any session. So this will make you easier remembrance. So the center finger shows you the requirement of more amount of calories even though you become older and older. But still, here this in somehow after the age of 60, the requirement has been diminished by 10% because our expenditure has been reduced. So we are started expending less amount of calories by the way of less physical activities. That's what we are insisting the elderly to do more exercise to make the calorie requirement fit. So thus the elderly need only 1/3 of the energy requirement when compared to the healthy younger adults. Here in the last line it was given a total energy expenditure is approximately 1760 kilojoules in the age of 30 years, and it approximately has been reduced to 8000 kilojoules in otherwise 1900 kilocalories if you become older. So these are the various sources of carbohydrates, you can say. Among them, as I mentioned earlier, 50% of the carbohydrate should contribute the total calories. First of all, you must know what is total calories. Total calories is the requirement of calories from various sources like protein, fat and carbohydrate for your 24-hour activity. Here a carbohydrate, 1 gram of a carbohydrate will yield you 4 kilocalories, 1 gram of protein will yield you 4 kilocalories, but 1 gram of fat will yield you 9 kilocalories. So it's double the carbohydrate, carbohydrate and protein. So here in the elderly, we have to try to avoid simple carbohydrates like juices, sugars, honey, which will be easily digested and increase our carbohydrate requirement. Always go for the complex carbohydrates to include more amount of vegetables, grains, prefer whole fruits instead of juices to provide you with sufficient amount of fiber. So this complex carbohydrate has a lot of vitamins, minerals, fibers which help in this constipation problem, as well as it will definitely decreases the blood cholesterol level. The requirement of protein also, there is some mild variation here. Elderly may need 0.8 gram of protein per kg body weight, and a balanced diet of healthy should contain 12 to 14% of protein in the total calorie intake, because we used to say whenever if you provide less amount of protein or less amount of calories, sometimes there will be misusage of both calories and proteins for the calorie action that we call as to prevent the protein from protein sparing action. So during infection, stress and some conditions, the requirement of the protein has been increased to 1.6 to 1.5 gram per kg body weight. As you know, proteins are basic for bodybuilding and for good immunity. To say about the fat requirement, more than 10% of the calories should be from saturated fats. As I told, 1 gram of the fat will yield you 9 kilocalories, and around 300 milligram of fat per day in the form of this cholesterol. I know how many of you know advertisement which is very prominently shown in the media that this oil contains 0% cholesterol. How many of you agree this advertisement, this oil contains 0% cholesterol? If nobody agrees, please, anyone can explain me why. Please. If nobody agrees, it does not contain 0% cholesterol, can anybody explain with a single word why? Pardon, sir? No. It's very simple. Higher content? Omega 3 is not available in all types of oils what we are consuming. It's only rich in fish, with seafoods, and some amount of seeds like flax seeds, which it is rich in omega 3. I can simply say fats are derived from two sources. One is from animal source, another one is from plant source. Okay, the fat which is derived from animal source is named as cholesterol. The fat which is derived from plant source is named as triglycerides. Okay, so definitely the plant source does not contain any animal fat. Okay, so the oil advertisement which is projected in the media does not contain any wrong information, but we call it as something like commercial fraud, isn't it? Yes. So the purpose of pointing here is to create awareness about the public, how they are taking the advantage. As the Swamiji has told so many things in a nutshell. So this is the things to be taken into care. So this fats provided by the in the oil is from the animal source, plant source, not from the animal source. So definitely the plant oil does not contain any cholesterol. So next is about the fiber. So you can say a low intake of dietary fiber has been shown to be related to so many conditions, such as main thing is constipation, sometimes colonic cancer, sometimes diabetes. How these are all related? Because fiber will help you in giving more satiety value and consumption of less amount of high calorific foods, which in turn helps to prevent your body from deposition of calories into fats in the adipose tissue. Here in the red lines it was shown the benefit of the fiber to increase the bulk and weight of the stool, prevent constipation, definitely it reduces the effect of toxins and other carcinogens which is traveling in our intestine. Next, about the water. As basic, does not provide any nutrients, but it is definitely needed to maintain the balance in our body. So at least 8 glasses of water per day should be taken, not only for elderly, for all the age group. Just you can calculate how many liters of water you are consuming from the morning to when you go to bed, including me. So I have to calculate, each and everybody has to calculate the quantity of the water to be taken, which plays very, very vital role to prevent from so many elderly complications. So here is micronutrients of concern in older adults. Here you can see these all types of vitamins you come to know, which has been classified into 2, fat soluble and water soluble. Among the various things, these 4, both vitamin and mineral has to be taken into in an important account, which the elderly often lack, that is vitamin B12, calcium, zinc, E and folate. Because I have justified here why these are all important in elderly. B12 is needed to prevent a person from anemia, fatigue, nervous system damage and other sore tongue. Calcium, definitely everybody agrees with me that it definitely helps to prevent it from bone mineral loss and urinary stones. Zinc helps to prevent it from loss of appetite, impact taste acuity, poor and prevent us from poor wound healing, and definitely it will help us to improve our immune function. Vitamin E helps to build up the red blood cells and prevent us from anemia, neurological problems and as well as muscle cramps. Folate, once again it helps us from anemia, weakness, fatigue and shortness of breath. Here I have because I have a lot of slides to show you, you can see this is vitamin B12. I have already told you the importance. The requirement is around 1 microgram, even though it is these fingers are too small, but the requirement of these vitamins and minerals is very, very needed to prevent or to maintain a healthy life. So these are all the food sources which are specified here, which is rich in B12. And this is vitamin E. The requirement is around 6 milligram. For male and female, it's around 5 milligram. Here the food sources has been listed: corns, nuts, olives, green leaf vegetables, vegetable oil, wheat germ. I hope you may know what is this packet. Germ of wheat germ package is available in the market, which is rich in vitamin E. And you have some basic vitamin E supplements also suggested by the doctors. And folic acid, here the requirement is around 215 microgram for male and 200 for female. And here the food sources has been listed. And everyone knows the importance of the vitamin A, which is very, very important for the this eye health. And the food sources are listed. Both all types of marine foods are rich in vitamin A, and some of the orange and green leaf vegetables is also rich in this vitamin A. D, the best source of D is, everybody knows, is the sunlight. Apart from that, even you can have so many advertisements today's is prominent to teach us what is how this vitamin A is completely absorbed. The requirement is around this 5 microgram for male and the same for the female. And K, this is very important for the blood coagulation. So this vitamin K, because whenever elderly get injured, it is difficult to stop the bleeding. So you have to be very conscious about to enrich our day-to-day diet with the vitamin K. These are the foodstuffs which is given. Vitamin C, this is very, very important for wound healing. So everybody know that, as my previous speaker was speaking about the amla, which is definitely a good source of vitamin C, which contains 600 milligram per 50 or 60 grams, which is a very rich source of vitamin C. This has to be taken into consideration for each and every elderly to prevent us from wounds and make the wound heal very fast.
Dr. Nasreen.
Yes, I'll finish it. So these are all these various vitamins needed. So these are about the minerals. We have chromium, calcium, zinc, iron, and these are all certain risk factors influencing the nutritional status of the older adults. The 4 things to be taken into account is age-related changes, psychological factors, economical factors, and cultural factors. Everybody have experienced this age-related changes. With this is decreased taste, visuality, loss of teeth, decreased gastric secretion. Psychology, main thing is depression, Economic, definitely a low income, limited access to food and food choices. Cultural, it's based on the individual ethics. So there are certain reasons and solutions you can find. I'll go with the slides. Decrease in sense, you have to make them more appealing in serving the foods. And medication, definitely a lot of medication will decreases your taste of food, which can be boosted with making them very easier, drinking in easier than eating. And poor dental health, which can be maintained with some medical support. And then financial trouble, low income definitely have some impact on the nutritional status, which can be where this Swamiji has explained well about this. And transportation of bread and buying the foods is also a big problem to making the elderly in a healthy way. And this physical difficulty, so adaptive utensils, cups and plates, this picture will show you this how based on the elderly you can make your utensils easy and very comfortable in consuming the foods. And forgetfulness, this is also a main reason where our elderly people will forget to eat and part time and all these things. So giving a scheduled meals at the same time each day will definitely enhance elderly to increase the consumption of the food in the right time. Depression is another big problem which can make eating a social event. So we have to bring the elderly to eat with the family members so that they can follow the times for the foods. So please don't permit the elderly to eat alone. To conclude, so nutrition is one of the many factors and one factor which determines success or failure of health in aging people. So this pyramid consists of all the aspects which was discussed and nutrition is one among them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Najni, for giving a overview of the nutrition that is to be given to the elderly persons. Thank you very much.
We'd like to thank Dr. Nazni. May I request Dr. Amarnath to honor her with a token of our appreciation, please? Thank you so much, ma'am.